All right, let's jump right in. If you're in the world of finance, you've probably asked this question, ACCA or CPA. But here's the thing, this is so much more than just picking a qualification. It's really about being the architect of your own career. So in this explainer, we're going to break down which of these is the right blueprint for you. First things first, let's bust a huge myth. These two are not interchangeable. The source material puts it perfectly. They serve different institutional logics. Now that's a bit academic, right? All it really means is they're built on totally different foundations. One is all about legal power in a specific country, while the other is about building professional credibility that's recognized all over the globe. So it's not about which is better, it's about what each one is actually designed to do. And that brings us right back to you. If you're the architect, which of these incredibly powerful tools, the ACCA or the CPA, is actually designed for the kind of career structure you want to build? Okay, so we're going to peel back the layers here. We're going way beyond the glossy brochures and the marketing slogans. We're diving into a real strategic comparison to help you make a choice that's truly informed, not just a gut feeling. Think of this table as our roadmap for the next few minutes. We're going to walk through each of these points, from their legal DNA to their global footprint, to really understand what makes them tick. Don't worry about memorizing it all right now. We're about to unpack the important stuff, piece by piece. Let's start with the absolute bedrock, the single most critical difference between these two. And it all comes down to the kind of authority they give you. We're talking about legal power versus professional credibility. And before we go any further, just ask yourself this. Does the career you're dreaming of require legally backed authority in one specific country, or does it demand professional credibility that's recognized no matter where you are in the world? Your answer to that is a massive clue. So first up, the CPA. You have to understand this isn't just a qualification you earn. It's a state license. Its power comes directly from U.S. law. Every single state board in America has control over who gets this license and what they can legally do with it. This is a grant of real statutory authority. Now, let's flip the coin and look at ACCA. This is a professional qualification that comes from one single global organization. Its authority doesn't come from a government. Instead, it's built on a worldwide reputation and is recognized by employers and regulators all across the planet. So here's the bottom line. The CPA gives you legal power, like the exclusive right to sign audit reports in the United States. That's huge. The ACCA, on the other hand, builds your professional credibility, making you a recognized player for senior strategic finance roles anywhere in the world. You could say one is a key to a very specific, legally protected door. The other is a passport to the global world of finance. Okay, moving on to the next layer of our career architecture, the professional blueprint. This is all about the mindset, the very way of thinking that each qualification teaches you. Are you going to be building your career based on rigid rules or on flexible principles? And wow, the difference here is stark. The CPA universe is built on US GAAP. That's the generally accepted accounting principles. It's a super detailed, rules-based system. The ACCA universe, however, is built on IFRS, the International Financial Reporting Standards, which is a framework built on principles, demanding your professional judgment and a focus on what's really going on, the substance of the transaction. And I really want to stress this point. Neither of these is better than the other. They're just different. A strict, rules-based approach is exactly what you need in a high-stakes, litigious environment. But a principles-based approach is absolutely essential for navigating the complex, nuanced world of global business. Different tools for different jobs. All right, so we've got our foundation and our blueprint. Now let's open up the toolkit, the actual curriculum and exams, and see how they shape you into either a deep specialist or a broad-thinking generalist. The first thing you notice is just the sheer structure of it. ACCA is a marathon, 13 exams, designed to be taken over several years, often while you're working. The CPA, on the other hand, is a compressed, high-intensity sprint, just 4 incredibly dense sections, usually tackled within 18 months. One is a test of endurance and progression. The other is a test of intense, focused power. But it's what's in those exams that really tells the story. The CPA curriculum is dense, super technical, and laser-focused on U.S. practice. It's designed to create licensed specialists. The ACCA curriculum, it's much broader. It pulls in finance, risk, ethics, even leadership, shaping you into a strategic, well-rounded finance leader. So where does that broad ACCA toolkit usually lead? Well, typically, it's into strategic leadership.
We're talking about roles like finance manager, financial controller, and then climbing the ladder all the way to CFO or head of finance. These are the jobs that need a big picture view of the entire business.
And what about the CPA specialized toolkit? That leads to a dominant position in U.S.-focused compliance and assurance. Think external auditor, tax manager, or the U.S. controller for a big multinational company. These are mission-critical roles that demand deep, technical authority within the American system. You can really see how the career paths start to split, right?
And that brings us to what might be the most practical, real-world factor of them all. Where are you actually going to build your career? Because when it comes to geography, the difference is massive.
I mean, this chart really says it all. The CPA's power and influence are overwhelmingly anchored to the United States. Now, outside the US, it's definitely respected for its technical rigor, but it loses that legal statutory punch. ACCA, though, is a truly global player, recognized by employers all across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. And listen, if you have any ambition to work internationally, this is a non-negotiable point. The source material calls this difference structural, meaning it's baked into the very DNA of the qualification. The ACCA travels well. The CPA, as valuable as it is fundamentally designed for a career inside the US.
Okay, so we've laid all the pieces on the table. We've looked at the foundation, the blueprint, the toolkit, and the job site. Now it's time to bring it all home and actually make your strategic choice. Here's the simple breakdown from our source material. Choose ACCA if your goal is an international career, if you're working with IFRS, or if you're on a CFO track anywhere outside the US. Choose CPA if your focus is squarely on US audit, US tax, or reporting to the SEC. And a quick word of caution, only go after both if you're in a very specific senior role that requires you to bridge the gap between US and international reporting. And we'll end on this quote because it perfectly captures everything we've talked about. This choice isn't about which badge is more prestigious. It's a deeply strategic decision about where you want to work, the kind of career you want to build, and the type of professional authority you want to wield. So the question isn't which one is better. The real question is which one is built for you.